What got moved, Benny? What is that called? Baptism, right. We call that the baptismal fonts. And Avery, can you point, where does that normally sit? Do you know? Have you seen that? The baptismal font? Where do we typically have that in church? Let's point to the right spot. We normally have it right here, don't we? In fact, if you come up really closely, you can see it's so heavy that it puts a little bit of mark in the carpet because it normally sits there. But we moved it today because today's a special church service. Today is the church service that we remember Jesus' baptism. And in just a little bit, I'll read the Bible passage that describes Jesus' baptism. And it happened in a river that was called the Jordan River. But today, we're not only going to talk about Jesus' baptism, but we're going to talk about our baptisms too. Everybody that's gathered here this morning will remember their baptism as well. And I've got a few pictures that I got from the congregation of some of the different baptisms that some of our people have had, and I'll show them. And if you brought a picture, I know Vicki brought her picture. Vicki, would you hold your picture nice and high? And if anybody else brought their picture along this morning, now is the time to hold them up. Who brought their picture? Oh, you got an F, people of the Church of the Covenant. You have failed. Vicki gets an A+. That away. McKella did as well. McKella emailed me. So, but even if we didn't have a picture, because I know some people said that they didn't even have pictures when they took their baptism many years ago. But a lot of us probably don't remember our baptism. I don't, because I was little. I was just a baby. I remember your baptism because I was there for it. But at our baptism, it was a very, very special day. But also, today we're going to talk about Jesus' baptism. I want to talk to you about what was special about Jesus' baptism. At Jesus' baptism, you know what happened that was different than anybody else's baptism? God in heaven spoke. And God in heaven said, "This is my Son, my beloved one, and with him I am well pleased." And it makes me wonder, Avery, have you ever wondered what God's voice sounds like? Sometimes I wonder what God's voice sounds like. Bella, have you ever wondered what God's voice sounds like? How about you, Malachi? What do you think God's voice sounds like? Do you think it sounds like this? "Malachi, clean up your room." Maybe not that. I got a feeling God's voice is really loud. And I think that's louder than any type of thing that I can do in trying to make my voice loud. In our psalm that Judy just read for us a few minutes ago kind of describes God's voice. And the psalm describes God's voice as powerful. It's majestic. It's so loud that it can break down trees. It says, "The voice of the Lord strikes with flashes of lightning." So loud, so powerful that everybody that was at Jesus' baptism, that were there at the river, they would have heard God. And they would have had wide eyes and would have definitely listened to what God was telling them. Now, what about our baptisms? Raise your hand, people of the Church of the Covenant, if you heard God's voice proclaim that this is my child the minute you were baptized. Go ahead and hold them nice and high. No, hold your hands down. I was there for you. The truth is, baptisms don't work that way. But also the truth is, believe it or not, every time there is a baptism, God is in heaven. And God is looking down at either a baby, or sometimes we're adults, sometimes we're teenagers, doesn't matter what age we're baptized. God's looking down, Bella, and God is saying, "That is my daughter. That is my child, and they are beloved." Now, how do we listen for God? Sometimes I wish that God was nice and loud and we hear him, but I think a lot of times we got to be more like this, Bella. We got to be more quiet. And we have to listen for God. In fact, the Bible tells us to be still. To be still and to be quiet and to listen for God's voice in our lives. homework that I'm going to give you 4. All right, I want you to listen for God's voice. We can do that by reading the Bible. We can do that by praying. We can do that by just listening to how God is trying to speak in our lives and is trying to comfort us and is trying to guide us forward, all right? Bella, would you say a prayer for us this morning? Would you do that? Do you feel comfortable doing that? You can say no if you want to. Okay, you want to? Very good. Come here, Bella. Everybody else fold their hands. Close their eyes, and Bella, come stand right next to Pastor Casey and repeat after me. Say, Dear God.
Dear God.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
For Jesus' baptism.
For Jesus' baptism.
For my baptism.
For my baptism.
And because. We're loved by you.
And we're loved by you.
In Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name.